In this lesson, we will look at a very different composition. This composition, I call it chaotic. That means that the motifs will be spread all over in some way. But I believe that even in little chaos, there's supposed to be a little bit of some order. So if you will divide your pattern, sewing pattern, in half, you can fold it in half, and then divide it in half one more time. It depends, you can divide it again and again, as many times as you need. This is a very small sewing pattern that I'm working with, kind of like a doll size, a child size. And you probably, for the real pattern, you will need to do that more than twice. You can divide in half here, you can divide this part few times, and so on. So what I'm doing, I'm dividing my pattern into parallel lines. You can also use and put for yourself stripes like this, like I used in lesson 1, and you can divide those. If in half is not something you want, then you can use the darts as your lines. So there are a lot of different possibilities, and you can put those lines, or stripes as I call them, parallel to one each another on the same distance. For example, if it is 2 inches here, then the same way we have to work with that stripes. So we will put it through the dart, I think, because when I divided by half, it just shifted a little bit to a different place, somewhere I really didn't want it to be. So it will be like that. And also in another distance that will be the same as here, we can move on and divide it with another stripe in this side and on the left. Try to make sure that those stripes are at the same distance from each other. Now, since I use stickers as my motifs for as an example, I will use a different daisies. They are all different sizes, and the idea here is to use the same motif but made in different size. It's possible you can take one flower that you like, make some flowers big with a thread that is thicker and thicker hook, and then gradually moving into smaller thread and hook, make smaller flowers. You can also change stitches, number of stitches, to achieve the same result. So we have daisies of different size, and I also will use, for contrast, those small flowers. And the way I will organize my chaos, I don't know if you like that phrase, it's kind of interesting. Does that even make sense? But okay, so I'll pick up my daisies, and I separated them, as you see they on my side, by different sizes. And at first I will start working with big motifs. When you have big motifs, try not to use too many of them. So what I'm going to do, you can start positioning them on lines. I will position all my white daisies on lines, on those stripes, and I will also use later, after that, smaller ones, and I will spread them on lines vertically and change sizes of those flowers. I also will position the daisies in a weird way. In a weird, that means I will not put them all like this, in line, like this, right? Or this way, all the daisies. But you'll see what I will do. I want them to be a little bit more chaotic. Now, I will remove my stripes. You can have them, or you can take a ruler on your pattern and draw lines. That will help. I will remember where my lines are. So I will remove this for me, and I will advise you to have stripes drawn on the sewing pattern. So let's see, let's say I will put this flower here. Another big daisy, I will move. My line goes through this dart right here. I can put it on a shoulder area, a little bit down. I can also use, I can move this a little bit up, just a little bit, just to see. Yeah, I will work with this quite a bit. Then another is going right here, another line. We can put this here. So they are not, as you see, on the same spot. So I'm moving them still to see that they will not be too close. I don't want huge motifs to be too close to each other. I want to spread them on the area. And I think I can still use few more. So we have stripe here. We had visual stripe in here somewhere. So why don't we put one in here? And don't mind that you have one of the flowers going across or darts or any lines of your sewing pattern. That means that that motif will move on the other side of your garment, on the back, when you will combine things together. How this will be done, you will see in a different lesson how to combine things together. But at this point we're working on composition, and you treat it in such a way that it fits you the way you like it. Don't worry if your motifs, we will put a lot of motifs on the darts. That's okay, that's fine. So one more motif somewhere we need to put. So those kind of create some kind of like triangle. We have line here, we had line in here, and I have line there visually, right? So I can put this one more probably here somewhere. Actually this line there, and that line will be like that, something like this, and that's it. So I can put those motifs away. I can use something smaller than that. We can use few daisies that are just slightly bigger, and also try not to put them too close to those motifs. And let's see how we will do this. We can actually, probably will be easier to start with little ones. One will go on that side. We can put one here. We can put there, something right there. Here. Go on lines, you see, right? Now we will go and grab another size of daisies, and we will put them right here. There. So you just figure things out. One will go down here. You see I'm crossing the dart. My line is going here, but the dart will be closed, and that motif will be in the right spot. And I'll put one in here, and I think it's all I will need, because I still have motifs. I still have some daisies here, so I have bigger ones. I will put one right there. I will grab one and put here. I can put one in here, and I'm out, I'm off. I don't have the same size, so I can spread it that they will not be all over. I can put one right there or here. It does not matter. It's up to you. You can play with this like that. So I still have few daisies here of different sizes. I have this kind, they're a little bit bigger, and we can place them like that. It's okay if sometimes your motifs will be overlap, it's also a possibility. place one there, probably here. That's it. And I still have bigger flowers, a little bit bigger. We can place one right there, like that. We can place this daisy like that. Right there, probably over there, and I think there's no more place anywhere room, so we're done. And now, as you see, it's quite chaotic here. Even we placed them in lines, they have a little bit of order. Now I will use small flowers with different color for contrast, and I will fill the spaces in between those lines. And this time I will place my new flowers in zigzag manner. So one flower goes here just to fill out this space, another goes on this side, you see, on the angle. Then the other flower can go or here, a little bit there, I'll put it here. The other flower will go like that. This flower will go here, and you can, if you feel to place more flowers here, you can put more dense, depends on, you know, how many motifs you have, how much space you want to fill with flowers. So this is all up to you. You can play with this carefully, because like I right now can run out easily of my flowers. I will not have any more if I will spread them too close to each other, so I have to be a little bit more careful about that. Like this, probably here, and I have to fill out this space also. So one flower goes there, right there, like that. A few more flowers here. And spread them, give them a little bit, move them around. They don't have to be very precisely in places posted. So here we need some, probably something right there, if you have extra flower. Those are connected flowers. And probably one right there. We need flower here, and probably one over there if you will have. I have those that are together. Those together can also go like if you have something like that. You know, if you want flowers to be together. So now I'm done with my composition. As you can see, it is not, there is no really order in this composition. It just flowers all over the place. It's a beautiful composition of different size of flowers, and still we have some order. We made it's just easier to create composition when you still use a little bit of stripes, lines throughout your composition, throughout your sewing pattern. You can do vertical lines, you can do horizontal lines, you can do diagonally, you can do all kinds of things. You can have curvy lines, wavy lines, and you know, there are a lot of things you can do. There's so many possibilities, thousands, gazillions of them, the way you can create a different and beautiful composition. Now, there are a few things to remember. So when you will finish this and you like what you see, always trace your motifs with something. Mark the place where they will be. Or right away, if it's easy. For me, it's not easy to connect them to the sewing pattern when they are all at one place. What I like to do, I like to take a pencil or pen, something, or marker, because if I will use it one time, who cares about it? I can damage it. So I will take each motif and draw around it, or if it's a flower like this, I will draw a circle around it, and I will mark the center of the flower where it goes. I always do it very precisely. Each motif, if I like what I see right now, I will mark every place, every spot for every motif on my pattern. Then I can remove all of them and one by one take and sew or fasten to the sewing pattern my motifs. After that, you can actually start your background netting. Make your front, the same way make the back of your sewing pattern. And what we're going to do with darts, you remember I told you at the beginning, don't worry about those darts. So right now I will just remove those motifs that are not on the darts. I don't need any of those. I will leave only motifs that placed on the darts and show you what is it that I told you not to worry about. So for instance, we're right here. Our motif is right there. And what we're going to do, we will close the dart. If we will close the dart, I will remember where motif is. So you fasten motif to this part on the top. And then when you close the dart, when you're ready to close the dart and when you make your background netting, here it is. Here was your motif, was here. Now when you close the dart, this is when you can connect with netting and continue. You see? So don't worry how your motifs look here right now. They are on a dart. But as soon as you connect the rest of them and connect at least one motif with the background netting right in this area, and then when you're ready to make background netting on that part, this is when you gently move your motifs, close the darts, like this. Well, of course you will close the darts with pins or fasten them. I recommend fastening the darts. And then here they are. You move them back, your motifs like that. We're pretending they are already connected to this part. And this is when you are ready to connect and make background netting on this side and connect your motifs. And also make background netting in between motifs here. This is a different lesson. I just gave you a hint how to work with darts. And don't worry about if your motifs happen to be in that space. So that's it, and I would suggest you to play with different motifs, crochet a lot of them of different sizes, contrast colors, and try something like this. If you don't like horizontal idea of lines and stripes on the pattern, try to mark your or build a grid of vertical lines, or you can also try and make squares and fit motifs in squares. There are so many possibilities, so try and see what you can come up with.